This is the Apex Legends Season 21 Legends Maker Tier List Maker video chat, okay? Okay, so we're gonna start with we're gonna just start by ranking every legend on the tier list, and then we'll start moving people around depending on if they need to go up or down, or we'll start ranking people in the actual list they're in. So we'll move everyone in A around so they're like actually ranked by talent, okay? So firstly, we're gonna put the legends in S, and then we're gonna work our way down. Currently, probably the only S tier legend in the game is Revenant. I think Revenant just provides way too much utility. He provides you with extra health. He provides you with way too much fighting power. He provides you with movement. He provides you with wall hacks. Quite literally provides you with everything you need on a team on one legend. Quite literally, you can 1v3 entire games by just having this legend on your team. It is a crazy thing to think about. Like, in general, I should have made an S plus tier to put Revenant on because every other legend currently, right now, is inferior to him by quite a bit. Alright, we'll just put legends in the A tier. Horizon's A tier. Pathfinder's A tier. That's fine. Well, we'll talk about more legends once we fill them in. On top of that, Bloodhound's A tier. Lifeline's A tier for sure. It's hard to say. Not a lot of legends in this game are A tier. Not a lot of legends are actually A tier. Bangalore's A tier. Mirage isn't. Alter isn't. No. Work on B tier. B tier would be like Wraith, Cat, Caustic, Conduit's B as well. Fuse, Gibby, Loba. Seer's pretty decent. Falk, Watson. That's pretty much it for. Then C tier would be like Mirage, Alter. Newcastle's B, yeah, actually, good point. Newcastle is indeed B. I'm going to, like, fix this because I think having all these legends... Vantage is definitely D tier. Vantage is not S tier. Octane's D tier. Crypto's D. Crypto's either C or D, and I don't know which one. In comp, like, Crypto's okay, but, like, in a general tier list, I think just because of Beacon Scan, he's C tier. Ash is definitely D. Ballistic C tier. Maggie's probably C. And then Rampart's C. I've got to move some people down. Not to actually think about this. I feel like on this list, from a ranked perspective, like, Watson's probably C tier. Just from a ranked perspective, like, we're going to go through every single tier list individually. Like, I'm going to go through all the legends and actually organize them flat. So it isn't just a simple, like, I'm just trying to fill the tier list in so then I can start making arguments of why I believe this legend's worse or better than others, right? Like, I'm just going to go down and talk about it. Is Horizon better than Pathy? I'm not going to lie, with Pathy's new SIP, probably not. No, with Pathy's new SIP, no. Is Horizon better than Blood for Ranked? No. Is Horizon better than Lifeline? No. I think Horizon's better than Buying for... Actually, no. Horizon's definitely bottom of A tier. Actually, like, when I think about it, with Bloodhound or Lifeline for Ranked, I definitely think Bloodhound is worse than Lifeline currently. I definitely think it's definitely Lifeline. Like, right now, I genuinely think the best comp that you can run is Lifeline Rev Pathy. Nothing even comes close to that, remotely. Lifeline might go a bit above Pathy just because of the ability to craft banners, the ability to have faster reses, the ability to snowball your Revenant, because Revenant's S tier, and if you're able to boost your Revenant with an extra 25 armor, a 4.8 second revive with the new tactical perk that revives, like, you could argue she's S tier. You could argue Lifeline currently is S tier because she provides so much value to the team in general. It is, but it's like, Lifeline is so strong currently, with just the ability to get guaranteed gold knock, guaranteed fast res. It's hard to compare to Revenant. Nah, I could put Pathy above Lifeline. They're both so good in their own way, it's insane. Blood or Bang currently? Okay, so with Bloodhound being nerfed and not able to, like, actually collaborate with Bang anymore, Blood might be worse than Bang for Ranked. In general, I think Bang's better than Blood. Okay, but is Blood better than Horizon? I think Blood's better than Horizon for Ranked. You get Beacon Scan, you get wall hack information, you have the ability to know where teams are. The question is, okay, we're going to go into B tier. I'm pretty sure everyone just in S tier and A tier is fine. I don't think there's any, like, justification that needs to be made. I don't know if anyone else needs to go up. We can think about that. Wraith is definitely not top of B tier. That is not even remotely close. Cat, Caustic or Cat? Which legend's better between Caustic and Cat currently? Probably Caustic, no? Well, it depends on map, because if you're on like World's Edge, Caustic's better. If you're on World's Edge, Caustic's better. If you're on Keen's Canyon, Caustic's better. If you're on Storm Point, like Cat's better. Oh yeah, it might be because of the doors actually, yeah. Caustic or Conduit? Caustic or Conduit? I think Caustic's better than Conduit. I think Conduit just doesn't really give you much. Fuse is definitely better than Conduit currently. Fuse is almost one of the strongest legends in the game. If you're including the bug, the Fuse is A tier. I can't lie, if we're going to include the bug with the evac, 150 meter wall hacks, Fuse might actually be A tier. Like, he might have to go up, because currently he is played in comp over all these legends. But this legend's, like, in, like, ranked environments more so. Fuse can have the ability to ult an evac, which gives him 150 meters of information around the evac. It is extremely broken. Yeah, he has to be A tier. He definitely has to be A tier. Fuse is just so strong right now, it's insane with the wall hacks. If it didn't exist, he would be B tier. On top of that, he can scan. Like, I could actually argue bringing him up above Bang. It's like between him and Bang, it's close. They fill different roles, but just that wall hack shit is so broken. I have to defuse above Bang. The 150 meter wall hack quite literally counters Bangalore. Like, the way certain legends are balanced in this game is as a direct counter to each other. For example, most legends typically counter themselves. Caustic counters Caustic, Gibbies counter other Gibbies, Bloodhounds counter other Bloodhounds, Bangs counter other Bangs, right? But Fuse works as a direct counter to a fuck ton of legends. Fuse counters Rampart, Fuse counters Newcastle, Fuse counters Bangalore with the wall hacks, Fuse denies pushes, he denies area, he denies the ability for teams to take space, he prevents pushes very easily currently with his current like style of util. He also works incredibly well as an anchor, dishing out like insane damage. It's like 60 damage a Q if he sticks you, like as long as you tank it. Nah, Fuse is definitely A tier. Fuse is 100% A tier. Okay, so Cat and Caustic, whatever, I don't think they'll stay at the top. Loba definitely moves up the list. I think Loba's better than Gibby. But is Loba better than Conduit? Like, which one of these two are better? Loba or Conduit? Fuse, Newcastle ult doesn't stop Fuse ult though, Batesy. If you ult on top of a Fuse ult, or Fuse ult on top of a Newcastle ult, it just fucks him. It's like insane. From I know of, at least. I've had that happen to me when I was playing Newcastle once, and it was not fun. So it's not about the nades, it's about the fact that you can give wall hacks to it. B is, I think, Cat, Conduit, Caustic, Newcastle, Maggie, Loba, Safe, Freer, Gibby, and Falcons go to C tier. Then Watson B tier is the last one. Or Watson could be B tier, actually. Actually, I forgot. Watson with the current buff she just got recently, a few months ago, what was it? With the double health to her ult, which was bugged. She's actually very good. Falcon go down. Mirage has to go down. I cannot, right of mind, put Mirage in the same tier list as, like, Alter. Or even, like, any of these legends. Ballistic's actually sleeper good. Like, Ballistic is extremely good. I think Ballistic's, like, really sleeper OP with his ultimate. It makes, like, Legend incredibly broken. It makes fights 10 times easier. Let me go for B tier, okay? So, Gibby, okay, so far, Cat and Caustic are pretty much the same legend. They fill similar roles by denying pushes. The only difference is Cat is more focused on rotations, whereas Caustic is more about denying rotations. They kind of work similar, but they differ. Loba can stay, I think, where she is, but I think she'll move down a couple spots. Maggie should go up. Maggie's very good. The only problem with Maggie is just Fuse is currently a much better Maggie. Like, there's almost zero reason to play Maggie when Fuse exists. The only time Maggie should ever be played is in a Gibby meta because she counters the Gibby bubbles. But even then, it's like, having Maggie is like, pretty detrimental if you just replace her with Fuse most of the time. Although she has a wing con with like her ult. You can ult people into ring, or you can ult people out of a building, denying them like space. The Thermite ult is crazy though, for sure. Like once I said you can deny space, You can entry buildings pretty easily. I'm pretty sure it also destroys util, so it destroys Watson gens, Watson fences. I'm pretty sure it also destroys rampart walls. That I don't know actually about rampart walls. But the Maggie has to go up. Maggie's quite strong. I think if you just put her in like a situation where she thrives, she's incredibly strong. But if you put her in situations where she doesn't, she suffers really badly. I think that's part of like the problem with most of these legends at the top, right? No, pretty much no matter what, they are always going to be good, right? In like either if it's a ranked perspective or a pub perspective, Rev's not really good in a comp perspective, but like just in general, they pretty much survive every scenario, whether it's lack of space, whether it's pushing teams, whether it's being on an armor deficit, which Rev directly counters with 75 extra health, whether it's struggling for some other means, you're pretty much surviving that. Whereas with Maggie, you're only getting one thing. You're getting basically one side of like a four-sided square, right? You're not really getting a whole lot. Like, you need to have more. Whenever you're like describing a team, you need to have more than just firepower. Like, you need to have legends that have rotations, Pathfinder. You need to have legends that have fighting capabilities, Revenant. You need to have legends that have information, Fuse. Whether that's through wall hacks, whether that's through ring scans, whether that's through player scans like Bloodhound. You need some form of info to guarantee a result on investment for playing those legends. Maggie, you don't get a guaranteed result. The only thing you actually really get is like red bins. Extra shields plus support bins with Bannercraft. There's no way Kondo is anything lower than third place in B tier. That's the thing though, with support legends being as strong as they are, they really just have to move up. Like, the support legend class existing in general is just so strong because you can craft banners. The only exception's Mirage, because all the other ones are just so much better. It's a hard one between... I would rather a Conduit over a Loba. The only time you don't want a Conduit in ranked, I guess, is if you're playing from shit POIs. Then you make up from the loot deficit with Loba. But from a comp perspective, you would never play Conduit, so I guess Conduit has to go down. Gibby or Loba? I have to move... actually... Nah, I can keep Conduit there. Loba maybe let's go one spot above. Just from like a loot perspective and making up for deficits, like... Conduit's extreme... Like, Loba just excels in that. Gibby or Conduit? I think Gibby. Conduit's better. Like, okay, maybe... I don't know, this is pretty close. All three of them have the ability to get, like... something. Gibby has his gun shield. He has a 16-second bubble with his bubble bunker perk at level 3. He also has a defense artillery, which pretty much prevents people from pushing. Conduit is best support after Lifeline. She is, but it's more about what those legends provide outside of just shield, though. If I had to pick, but I would have to pick... You'd have to pick Conduit, bro. You're right. You'd have to pick Conduit. You would have to pick Conduit. Okay, Gibby or Loba, though? I guess that's a better question, is like Gibby or Loba. I don't know. Loba provides you with, like, so much loot, but she pretty much provides her team with nothing. Like, Gibby provides you with sustainability in bad positions. He provides you with a detour that pushes. He provides you with extra health with fortification on top of an additional shield. But Loba Q's a self-centered ability. It's an inferior Rev Q and an inferior Pathy Grapple, pretty much. Because Loba Q requires setup. Loba Q requires way too much setup for return. Whereas, like, Revenant and Pathy pretty much provide you with instant movement. That's what makes those two legends so good. Loki's banner grab, that's all. Her ult is team-based. The thing about it, it's just loot, though. If you play the game correctly, you shouldn't need loot. That's the thing. Like, if you play the game and loot properly, you fight teams when you need to, you really shouldn't be at a loot deficit. Or you really shouldn't be needing loot. The only time you actually need loot is whenever it comes from, like, a comp perspective. If you land Landslide, for example, or if you land Monument, or if you land, like, Geyser, then you have to make up for a loot deficit you can't really do. But I think besides that, Gibby's better. It's really playstyle dependent. If you're playing slower, I think Loba would be better. Maggie's definitely not better than Loba currently. I think Seer's better than Maggie. I think having both wall hacks on a very, very fast one is insane. I think the ability to scan your surroundings in general is just one of, if not the most broken passive in the game. Currently, it doesn't give him enough because of the delay, but you pretty much don't play the game on Seer. You know everything, and you have all the information you would ever need. It's sort of like playing Crypto, but you don't have to control a drone. The ultimate is pretty underwhelming, though, because the ultimate is pretty much been nerfed, I think, 3 or 4 times ever since he's been released. Like, the ult is pretty much countered by just walking, or also just, like, not pushing. If you ult a building, it pretty much does nothing, because the team inside don't really have to do anything. Although the scan is really good. The tactical scan is really good right now. The tactical scan's insane. Yeah, UAVs just... With UAVs being in the game, you have to bring Legends up, because UAVs are one of the most broken, like, things in the game. Maggie or Wraith? I think Wraith goes above Maggie, but not above Seer. I think Wraith has to go above Maggie. We'll get to Newcastle. Okay, so basically, the problem with Newcastle is that he is by far the hardest legend in the game to play. The highest skill ceiling, every one of his abilities have an infinite skill ceiling. Quite literally, you have an ability, 3 abilities that you micromanage. His tactical, you have to control every aspect of it, the direction it's looking, the speed that it's going, where it's going, and pretty much you have to control in your mind how to use it. His ultimate is very gimmicky. It can fuck up very easily. If I could, I would show you a clip of Taxi fucking up with it, or even another streamer. The ultimate sometimes doesn't do what you want it to do, and that's not your fault, which makes it also very, very unforgiving, because you quite literally can do nothing. The passive is extremely strong, especially when incorporated with his tactical shield, but it's very difficult to correctly, like, incorporate it. For example, like, Watson, Newcastle is, like, extremely strong, but it's so hard to play him that you can't, like... If you were to play Newcastle perfectly, he would be here. If you could play Newcastle, quite literally, like, AI, he would be S tier. If you could quite literally play the legend to the most, like, perfection, pristine, he would be S tier. But that's unrealistic. He has some of the strongest abilities in the game, but just such big downsides in the fact that you have to control all of them. But here's the thing, if you give Newcastle Gold Knock, I think he's A tier. But you can't just give a legend, like, a power spike like that. I think Newcastle with Gold Knock would be like here. He's incredibly strong. He is incredibly strong with Gold Knock. It's insane. You pretty much have a guaranteed revive if you know what you're doing. But without that, I can't right of mind put Newcastle there. Just know that if he has a Gold Knock, he's probably A tier. Watson just stays bottom. I don't know. It's close. The thing is, Watson provides you a shield economy. Watson provides you with such insane shield economy. I think it's 600 health, 600 shield on our ultimate with the double health perk, which is about 6 batteries, or it's 500. Someone in chat will know. It's an absurd amount of shields. You pretty much don't have to use shield whenever she's on your team, and she also provides you with area denial. The question is whether or not she's, like, going up or not. Like, the thing is, because this tier list isn't just comp-based or ranked-based, you have to put her middle. You have to put Watson somewhere in the middle, because she just doesn't... She doesn't do it all. Like, she is insane. One of the best legends in the game from a comp perspective, but she just struggles in ranked when she doesn't actually provide you with anything outside of shields and some area denial. I still think she'd be above Maggie, though. I still feel like Watson's above Maggie. And, like, I feel like Newcastle could even go above Maggie as well. Dolphin, I'm doing Vantage dirty. Bro, if she had, like, a slightly smaller hitbox, she'd be broken. And if her tactical was actually working, the ability doesn't work. The ability just doesn't work. Like, her tactical gets stuck behind walls. It's the same thing with Newcastle. Her tactical gets stuck behind walls. Now, her passive's broken. Getting to know what shields people are on is incredible. A 2-tap on ult on white armors or a 3-tap on ult in general is extremely good, but it's like... Maybe for double beacon you move her up, but, like... She can scan both beacons, but it's like... At this point, you just run Pathy, and you don't really need you don't really need a zone console. You normally just run Paffy Rev, and that makes up for both of those like aspects of your game. Like, the thing is, as long as you have Rev and Lifeline, you can pretty much run anything else, but Paffy's insane for zip lines. It's just a matter of, like, does she provide something that makes, like, her worth it? Well, we'll continue on the C tier. Falk is above Ballistic. Alter's shit, she could probably go down to D tier, to be honest. Oh, 10% more hitbox and she goes up to C tier. Alter's terrible. She only has one ability that works. Her passive is terrible, and her ultimate literally does nothing, though. In a fight, Ronox, you have one ability that works. The only ability on Alter that works is her tactical, and also, like, in 85% of scenarios, the tactical does nothing in fights. You're quite literally fighting with no abilities. That's the problem with Alter, is you have no actual abilities in fights. Yeah, but if you're not around buildings, the ability has no value. If you're fighting in open space, let's say you're fighting on Olympus, where there's barely any rocks or barely any cover, you're getting almost zero value out of her kit. The only ability that she has is a tactical. Her ult pretty much doesn't do much. If this was with Crypto, she'd be good. I don't know. She's either bottom of C tier or like top of D tier. She's not that good. Ballistic can go down too, to be honest. Ballistic's really good if you like snowball your lead, because you get infinite like ammo, faster reloads, faster movement speed, whatever, but most games you'll get it if you're gonna win, will go down to at least ring 5. Yeah, but not all rings. Typically, rings in ring 5 ignore buildings. Especially with the way the current algorithm works, is that any zone that has a building, it will just try and pull away from it because it doesn't want to end near places with 2 layers of height. It's to prevent tail-off zones. Like, in order for her to be better, she needs something else. I don't know. I can't right of mind put this legend anything higher than top of D. The legend just doesn't provide you enough. Yes, but other like, why do you need to do that most of the time? Most of the time when you Q, you could just run around the rock, climb on top of the rock, climb on top of the car, climb on top of the box, run around the rock. Very, very little amounts of time will the tactical actually save you or help you, if anything. No. Pretty much every case besides pushing a building, you could do with other legends. Also, queuing into a building blind is kind of stupid because, okay, let's say you put a queue down, right? Let's say the queue is right here. They see the queue. The team inside could be here, here, and here. They could literally just shoot you. They could just pre-aim the queue. But also get an alter kidnapped. But if you get alter kidnapped, it's your own fault because you can take it back instantly. If you hold square whenever you get alter kidnapped, you instantly go back through the portal. Or if you just walk backwards, you're fine. So the alter kidnapping doesn't really do anything. It's just annoying, but we get knocked, took Alter Ult and res for free. But yeah, but Lifeline could have also have res be for free. I think it's 6 seconds on the ground to use that. If you're able to use that on the ground, then Lifeline could have resed you. Like, it's such like the way you think about it is like, you would have gotten just, if you're in the middle of the shitstorm, but yeah, but like you still would have just got resed by Lifeline though. Okay, yeah, but you still get knocked, but Lifeline gets guaranteed gold knock, though. It's fun, but it's not good. It's not practical. It has to be practical, but she's not practical in the slightest. I could bring Maggie, I could bring Vantage up above. And let me see, Rampart can move up a little bit. Rampart's actually not bad. I've had too much time on Alter. Rampart's actually not bad. I can't lie, Rampart is not that bad. Rampart ult is by far probably the strongest. It's the strongest weapon in the game. One of the strongest ultimates in the game. It's just the fact that her passive is kind of mid. Her tactical's good, but it's just like, it doesn't really like work that well. It helps to hold buildings, but most of the time you can just ignore the Rampart shields unless they're like in buildings and you have to push the building. Extra L-Star bullets, you go, does Rampart work on L-Star? Even then, though, like, if you're running out of L-Star ammo, that is a skill issue. So, I'm just saying, if you run out of ammo, you're a skill issue. On the L-Star, that shit does not stop shooting. You could argue Vantage going up just for double beacon. Because then you free up a slot, but, like, does she just... Okay, Mirage needs to go down. I think Ashe is the worst legend in the game, though. Okay, Octane or Mirage? Octane or Mirage? And who goes where? Bro, I feel like Octane is just. I feel like Mirage is better than Octane. I don't know. That might be a bad take because Octane. Pretty much, we're at the point in the game. The game's been out for 21 seasons. That whenever you take an Octane pad, any person with any sort of skill will just kill you. A Mirage ult can actually work as a gimmick. Mirage ult works as a gimmick, although, to be fair, the invisible res doesn't really do anything. The invisible res is kind of useless because you can hear it and pinpoint it pretty easily. Although Apex has pretty shit audio, you can pretty easily tell where it is. Most of the time, at least. Most of the time, you can tell where the guy is. And there's another thing that not a lot of people know. Whenever you're respawning teammates through a beacon, Mirage also goes invisible. But ever since they added the beacon light just flashing, it's kind of useless. If they removed that, then Mirage would be really good for rezzing, but just being support alone moves them up. It's kind of sad. A class existing will boost a legend so much. Ashe is staying bottom. Octane's staying where he is. I feel like Vantage is a little bit above Alter, but I don't know. I would rather have a Vantage on my team because of double beacon for one than an Alter. Because, like, I'd rather have a lifeline over an Alter. Yeah, I had to put Vantage over Alter. It's like, I could see Vantage going bottom of B, like bottom of C, like very, very bottom. I don't know. Because just double beacon as an actual concept is so broken. If she didn't have access to double beacon, she'd be D tier for sure. But having two beacons on one legend is 400 Evo. So the way, pretty much, the way ranked works is currently, is you're playing a game of trying to get the purples as fast as possible, so that your lifeline has the ability to snowball your Revenant to red. That is pretty much the concept of the meta that we're playing in. It's a very snowball-based meta, right? Whenever you have a legend that provides you with the ability to get Evo points faster to level up, that then makes it easier for you to get to the snowball point, or the tipping point, to where you can just push your lead to the point where no one can really stop you. And so Vantage gives you the ability to have not one, but both beacons, which is 400 points, which is an insane boost, because you only need, I think it's less than 3,000 points to get the perp. It's 450 for white. It's like 2,000 points. It's like 1,250 or something for perp, 1,300 for perp, or for blue to perp. So if you only need like 1,700 points, 1,800 points, Vantage covers about a third of that, a quarter of that. If Vantage covers that much, whenever you wipe a team, you get around 400 to 600 points, depending on how much you did in the fight. Relevancy is like, if you res teammates, you get more. If you do damage, you get more. If you knock people, you get more. If you finish people, you get more. If you do finishers, you get more. But relevancy, you typically get triple blue off a fight, a 3v3, unless one of your teammates shits the bed. So if you have the ability to need 1,000 points after the end of a contest, or 1,200, and Vantage covers 400 of that, like, pretty much if your POI has double beacon, you're done to 600, or 800, sorry. So you've went from needing 1,200 to 800, or 1,000 to 600. Then all you need is 2 Evo cash. If it's 1,350, then it's different. I might be wrong then, but... So then you go from, like, let's say 1,200 off to 800. Just off one legend, which is 2 Evo caches and a blue bin from Lifeline. Now, with the way Evo caches work, as they spawn 400 meters apart, that means that you can roughly have perps within the first, I would say, 4 minutes of the game. Which means you have a red armor by the time that Ring 1 starts closing. Which is actually insane. Or by the time Ring 1 finish closes. Sorry, that's a wrong thing. No, that's insane, actually. Yeah, that's insane. That's another 100 points, too. Just because of that, I could see her move up a little bit more than Crypto, because just that double beacon, 400 points is insane. I don't know, actually. Vantage is just so mid that, like, I could see her go down below Vantage now that I'm, like, thinking about it. It's not even just about, like, it's just the 400 points, the information, and the ability to take pressure off your teammates to play those legends. Yeah, no, okay, Vantage is better than Falc. Falk is just so mid right now that she pretty much, with evac towers being in the game, I could even argue Falk won the D tier. She literally does nothing for her team. Falk quite literally does nothing. Her entire kit is literally a survival item. People removing armor and going down across the map, the enemies get Newcastle res. That's a good point though, Blunt. But it's also like, the thing about that is you drop your res timer from 90 seconds to I think 60 down to 45 to 30 to 15. That means that if you get knocked and you don't have the ability to insta-res, your timer keeps dropping to the point where you just get fucked for it. Nah, Falk could definitely go down to D tier, bro. That's insane to me. Like, the Falk has been meta. She was S tier 2 years ago, and she's fell off this much because of one survival item countering her entire existence. Nah, that's insane. Nah, Falk definitely does more than Ashe. Falk does more than Ashe. But that is insane to me, bro. What? Maybe a hot take could also move Wraith to C tier on top. I'm not gonna do that. You know why? The Wraith perk does she still have that, chat, where she tells you if people walk nearby? Because that is actually very good. You pretty much never get ratted on. You always have information, and you pretty much always have, like, you never ever like, surprised. Yeah, if she still has that in the game, then I think she's still I think she's B tier. That perk alone brings her up in a ranked environment so much. It's actually insane. That brings her up so much, it's insane. Just the ability to know when people are within I think it's 150 meters of you is she can go down. I think she's bottom of B tier. I think Wraith can go down to bottom of B tier. I don't think she's C tier just because of that one perk. But then again, Crypto has the same thing with his drone, but it's like, Crypto could scam beacons. Can I really make that argument if Crypto's C tier? If that's what Wraith has? I can't really make that argument, bro. I can't really make that argument. At least in ranked, I think Wraith's better than Crypto in ranked. From a comp perspective, I think Wraith's still kind of better. Because of portals, it's easier rotations. You pretty much can... The importance of Wraith is that you can play 2 immobile legends and, like, synergize them with Wraith, right? For example, I could play Caustic Gibby, and every time I need to rotate, just portal. Oh, that's why Falk used to get played back in the past, is that you had a faster Falk ult, you used to be able to Gibby bubble the Falk ult, then Falk ult. Wraith has the ability to do that, but on a much, much worse scale. Much worse. You can actually die teleporting around places as well as it's really like a lack of information play. You don't know what you're doing most of the time. Let me go from top to bottom. Rev is S tier. Pathfinder's definitely top of A. Definitely Lifeline in second. Fuse because of the bug. I want to make this very clear. If Fuse didn't have the bug currently, he'd be B or C tier. I think that's like very known. If Fuse didn't have the evac bug for a 150 meter wall hack, he would have gone down the list quite drastically. That bug is insane. Bangalore definitely is A tier. Being above Bloodhound's an iffy one. I think the Bang providing you with what she does is insane, but thinking about Blood provides you with beacon scan, but the problem with not being able to see through smoke now means that Bang kind of counters Blood. Not exactly because of the scans, because scans still work through smoke, but she kind of works as a counter to the Bloodhound ult, which is kind of insane. I think Blood's better than Horizon for ranked. And just in general, currently, I think Blood's definitely better. Cat and Caustic. I think those two are roughly in the same place. I think both of them, like, once again, like I explained 25 minutes ago, whatever it was, that both of them pretty much have the exact same playstyle, where they deny entry to a building, but they do it through different means. But the thing is, Cat is more focused on helping with rotations, whereas Caustic is more focused on denying rotations through Caustic ult and basically guaranteeing a win in endgame. If you make it to final zone with Caustic, it's almost a guaranteed win. It's incredibly hard to choke that. It is very hard to choke a final zone with Caustic. That has happened many times. You just throw a Caustic ult down, and people start ticking, dead. Conduit above Gibby is fair. Gibby or Loba, both of these legends are like, they're both iffy. I don't think either of them are like very insane. I don't think either of them are, like, that good. Seer being where he is fair. Having guaranteed information about everywhere you go. Pretty much working as portable wall hacks. Also, the ability to hit beacon is incredibly broken. The ultimate, wow, it's very mid as fuck, to be honest with you. The passive makes up for it because you get information on health. You get information on, like, location through walls. You get information on the legend. You also get information on other stuff. And I'm pretty sure it slows you, no? Does Seer Scan still slow you or no? I'm not sure. It might hinder you a little bit, so, like, it stops you, no? I think does it not stop you sprinting for a second, or no? If you get scanned. I'm pretty sure it stops you from sprinting, no? Okay, fair enough. Watson and Maggie. Watson's better than Maggie, bro. I don't know about Newcastle or Maggie, though. I think Newcastle might be a little bit better than Maggie. Maggie and Newcastle were like one-to-one opposites, kinda. Like, Maggie Ball works for entry, whereas Newcastle Shield works on a defensive entry. Like, you can use Newcastle Shield as a way to peek doors, or even stop doors. Like, for example, if you throw a Q in a door, an enemy can't kick it, and it's almost impossible for them to entry through the door. They can't kick it, they can't use abilities on it, they can't nade it, they can't do anything. Once again, it's just very hard to actually apply that mechanic. Also, like, you can pretty much make any spot playable. It's pretty much the same thing with Gibby, right? You can throw a bubble down at anywhere and it makes it playable, whatnot. Wraith or Rampart, I think Wraith... Maybe Rampart. Rampart might be better than Wraith. Rampart having her Sheila is so broken. The amplification of the wall, I think it's 20%, is kind of crazy. Sheila itself is just so good. But, like... yeah, I have to. I have to put Rampart above. I have to put Rampart above. Wraith is just such a niche legend that it's insane. Okay. Wraith is 100% better than Ballistic. I don't think that's an opinion. Ballistic or Vantage, though. Both of them are, I think they're pretty much the same in terms of, like, skill, like, not skill necessarily, but in terms of, like, power. I think both of them pretty much have very similar aspects. Vantage ult works to kill people. Ballistic ult works to kill people. Vantage tactical is movement, whereas Ballistic ult is hindering bullets. Ballistic's passive with a third weapon is kind of mid. Vantage passive with the ability to scan legends and their armors is incredibly strong. Okay, I can move Vantage up one spot. And then Crypto and Ballistic. Ballistic's better than Crypto. Vantage or Alter. Or no, not Vantage. Falk or Alter. Falk's probably better than Alter. Even though Falk is pretty mid, Falk's better than Alter. Alter or Mirage? Alter's probably better than Mirage, just because the ult. Mirage or Octane? Yeah, that's fair. I think that entire list is fair. I don't think I would change anything. I think that's it. I think that's it. Put Mirage above Rev. Good take. Good take. I think that's fair. I think that's my season. Apex Legends Season 21 Legends Maker Tier List Maker. That is my tier list for this season, chat. If you guys have any questions, you can write them in the comments or whatever. I think that's my tier list. I don't think I would change anything. No, that's it. That's my tier list. So thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoy.